Hey guys, how's it going? This is Dilmer again and welcome back to my channel. So I'm pretty excited today because I'm going to be talking about a subject that I get a lot of questions about. And this subject is, Dilmer, how do I make money as an indie game developer? I want to make, this a full-time life. I want to do it all the time, but I don't think I can make enough money to cover my needs. And that's a question that I get a lot. That's a question that I get a lot from people that are basically starting out in the industry or people that have been doing this for a while and they just haven't been able to make any money. So I'm gonna basically walk you through what I do, what I actually been doing in the last few years, and give you an idea by the end of this video of what it actually takes to make money as an indie game developer. And keep in mind that I've been doing this for 5 years, so there's a lot of things that I've done that actually haven't worked. There's a lot of things that I've done that actually have worked. And I want to give you both so that you understand, what it actually takes to make money as an indie game developer. So the first one, and one of the ones that I think is more important than anything else that you do in life, specifically people that really want to make games and want to concentrate on that for long term, is making sure that you're making small games. Make sure that you're making a small game is very important because that's actually going to teach you a lot of information. So when I started making games, I made a game that was too big. It took me 3 years, and I didn't really sell any copies. So that to me, it wasn't that it was unsuccessful. It was actually very successful. The reason why I think it's very successful is because I actually was able to get a lot of information from that. I didn't think, making a game that took me 3 years and it was so elaborative, it wasn't gonna make me any money, and that was the reality of the industry, is that it actually didn't make me money. So whenever you're thinking about making a game, make sure that you're making a very small game first. And even before that, make sure that you have an idea, you're prototyping the idea. Try to prototype as many ideas as you can, then maybe vote on some of those prototypes, and don't jump in and make a game just because a game is cool. Make a game because it has a long-term life, meaning that if you put it in the store, it's actually going to make you money. It's actually going to get downloaded. I'm not saying don't make a game that you're not passionate about. Make a game that you're passionate about, but also make a game that is going to basically sustain your lifestyle. You're going to be able to release some of those games, and then long term you can see some basically revenue out of some of those games. So when I started out, I made a game that didn't really work, and then I started making a small game. So number one, make small games. And the reason why I tell you to make small games is because if you make one game that takes you around 2 to 3 months, and then you make another game, and then you make another game, every game that you're making, you're improving your skills. Every game that you're making, you're improving on what you know about the market. So number one and most important one is basically make a small game. Number two is actually very important as well, and this is one that I try, and it is to actually release assets in the asset store. So if you're a Unity developer or you are an Unreal developer, you can actually make some of the components that you're using in some of your games. You can actually extract them out, make it generic enough that you can push to some of those stores. So I did that with the Unity Asset Store. I had about 6 to 7 different assets that I was offering. And I remember right now that I actually made a game, a very small game at one point in time, and actually released it in the store. And in about 1 day, I made about $3,000 because the game was actually featured in the Unity Asset Store as a component. So that was back, a few years ago. I haven't done it anymore, but if you want to do it now and you want to fund some of your games, doing that is actually completely fine. It's actually going to help you not only find your games, but it's actually going to help you in understanding how that marketplace works. So number two, make sure that you push assets to the different asset stores to fund your game. And then number three is one that I also did for about 1 to 2 months. I didn't want to do it for too long, and that was freelancing. So if you are one person that you have enough time to do freelancing, and you actually can start to learn some of the things that you learned during freelancing in your own game. So that's the reason why I did it. I didn't want to pivot in a different direction. I was doing freelancing for a company that was actually making games. They wanted to prototype an idea. I prototyped the idea for them. They pay me very well. So that's actually really helpful. If you want to do freelancing, but make sure that you're doing freelancing, but you also have enough time to work on your own game. And number four is find a day job if you need it. Find a part-time, do freelancing, like I said on the previous tip. The reason why I say that is because I actually do that. I actually use a lot of the money that I generate as a .NET developer to fund some of my games. I use it to to pay marketing. I use it to pay other people to help me out. I use it to basically cover some of those expenses about getting devices to basically test out some of my games. So that's basically what I wanted to talk about in this video. And just to give you a recap, number one, make small games. Number two, push some of the assets to the asset store. And number three, become a freelancer if you need to. And number four, get a part-time job if you need to, or a full-time job. So that's basically what I wanted to talk about in this video, guys. If you guys have any questions, let me know through the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to share this video. Thank you, guys.